Hello everyone, today we are just going to do a video on how to import the AutoCAD file into PYTHA. Over here we have a kitchen handler that we want to import in. I'll just take the top as an example. We open up PYTHA, we go to File, Import DWG and select to our desktop the handler that we want. Over here we just delete the bottom because we are not interested in that yet, and now the top. First, we'll test the lines. Okay, when you right click on the line, these are solid. This is good. So immediately I can go back to my XO view, go to Parts, Profile, Edges, and I click on this edge. It becomes a solid. I'll say that this is maybe -3 to the bottom. Okay. And I'll also extrude this. This is about 3 mm. Then I extrude this line 3 mm. Okay, and over here, now I'll say Union, so that I will join the three cubes together. Done. Okay, so once this profile is done, we are just going to do up the circle. Okay, so for the circle, we will go into, so right now we are going to do the circles, okay, to apply a commissioning command later. So I go into faces, circle 3 points, just select any 3 points of the circle, immediately PYTHA creates a circle. Okay, right now we are just going to delete this circle, okay, and I'm going to uncheck this circle that I just created. Done. Okay, and then right now we are able to say right click, edit, and say that this radius is 1.5 instead. So it's a diameter 3 circle. Next, we are just going to copy this circle. I press G to hide the triad so that I can select the reference point, and I move it to this side. And then now I'm just going to do the same process to delete this, uncheck the circle. Done. The AutoCAD lines are deleted. So over here, right now at the top view, we have, you see all my AutoCAD lines are individual. So I don't want them to be individual. I'll say parts, I'll say H2s, and I'll go to H2s and I will use close chain, and I'll select everything. And now PYTHA closes the chain. Okay. So now if I were to go to parts, profile, okay, I'll say edges and I'll click this. Okay, so you can see that there's some issues with my AutoCAD line, that the lines are still broken up. Okay, despite pressing join edges, and you can see it's not a solid. So there's issues with this line. Okay, and we will have to retrace this line. I'll show you how to in a short while. But I will extrude the other edge over here. Okay, and I'll say that this is about 50 mm. Okay, and because this, I'll move it down, okay, such that it's something like this. Okay, so now we have a profile. So what we need to do is to trace out this profile. Okay, so first I will say selected parts invisible because I want to hide my solids that I've been able to create. And now I'm going to trace out this profile. How do I trace out this profile? First, I'm just going to trace this line. So I'm just going to go into faces, 3 point circle, click here, click here, click here, I get a circle. Okay, then now under mains, we go to auxiliary lines, okay, and we try to trace out this line. But first, I will convert this circle into auxiliary line by clicking on circle to retrace this face that I created. Okay, and then I'm just going to delete this circle that's a face. Okay, and I have an auxiliary line. I'm going to use the command parallel to say goes out by 10 mm. Oh, sorry, goes out by 1 mm. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this. Okay, and now for any circle that starts and ends, I'm just going to do a vertical line. Click, click, here, and here. So we have some vertical lines, okay, that we can trace. So how do I trace? I go to 3D data, face. I click on the start point, left click, and start tracing. Left click, left click. So click, click, come out here. Okay, so I click this point and I click one of the red dots. And how do I trace a circle? Okay, move your mouse such that you see a command called auxiliary circle. Okay, so I'm just going to move my mouse and make sure it says auxiliary circle. I can zoom all the way in, click once, zoom out, come down here, and click on this point. So immediately PYTHA traces a circle. I'm going to show you again. So I'm just going to click, click, and comes back to here. We're going to zoom in, click on the yellow circle, okay, that says auxiliary circle, sorry, the green circle, click once, left click once, and now move to click on the endpoint, which is this red dot. So this is how you trace the AutoCAD line. If your AutoCAD line is okay, you do not need to trace it. Okay, we are tracing this because we are not able to explode the original AutoCAD file. I'm just going to auxiliary point again, zoom in to a circle and end it off at the red dot. Okay, and move it up here. Okay, so once we have a face, okay, we can go exit, main, and we have a face here. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to uncheck the face so that the original AutoCAD line is deleted. Next, we are going to go all parts visible. Okay, and now I'm just going to go into parts, and we are going to use the command called profile faces. Click on this and say that this is 50 on the outside, and we are going to move this also downwards in the zip. Okay, so now we have a part like this, and next we are just going to copy this circle all the way, this panel all the way up, so that there is two areas here. Okay, and this for this circle, okay, so this circle, what we are going to do, we are going to move this circle. So we are going to say move this circle, okay, downwards, so that it will create a drilling command. Okay, and then I'm just going to say copy this circle from the bottom, copy these two circles from the bottom to the top in the Z direction. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to go workshop, my holes, we're going to select this 4 circles and this 2 and 2, so it's 4 selected. Enter and say that, okay, for this I want a pre-drill, I want the system to drill a hole, and maybe the drilling depth is only 5 mm. I always like to make my holes rate so that I'm aware that there's a machining command. What am I going to do now? I'm just going to rotate this this figure. Okay, I want to rotate it such that it is how we would just insert it. So I'm just going to rotate in this direction, and I'm going to rotate again in the Z by a 90 degrees. So this is how we would have insert the handle. Okay, usually I like to just move the object back to the origin. Okay, so next we have to ask ourselves, where is the insertion point? Okay, so that is very important. We assume that for the cabinet, this is the side of the cabinet that we are going to insert. Okay, so what we just need to do, first we will group them together. Okay, we're just going to say group parts, and we select everything. And we say that this is a handle, okay, for the top. Okay, so once we say that this is a handle, we can just save this. I'm going to save it in my desktop, handle, kitchen. Okay, and next I'm going to create a point. Okay, so I'm just going to attributes, under group you say reference point, input a point somewhere along here. Maybe I'll say that, okay, this is usually where I'll put the profile. Okay, and I can say extend this figure, extend this assembly. Okay, I'm just going to pull it out a little bit more, maybe by 400. Okay, so once we have a handle, okay, we go into file, new. Okay, if I have a carcass like this, okay, how do I put in the handle? Let me just delete the yellow boxes. Okay, to put in the handle, all we need to do, okay, is just under my library here. Okay, if I refresh my desktop, you'll see the kitchen handle. I just drag it in. Okay, so I have the handle here. Okay, so I can say top left. Okay, and I can press Ctrl such that the system applies. Okay, so I can just insert it here, and from here we are able to move this group. Make sure the group is plus. Move it as a reference point backwards. Okay, and then over here we just say extend. Okay, make sure the group is plus again. Extend it from here to the inside edge in the X. So immediately you have the handle. What do I mean by the machine profile? So let's say if we were to go into workshop and we say lay flat and select this panel, you'll notice that there are two holes here, and these two holes are the profile for this handle. So this is how you create such a profile for the handle. So this is how, if you have AutoCAD lines that you have trouble importing, you have to do this retracing of this part. Thank you.